Okay, dear students, we can start with the continuity of a function. So, general concept of the continuity of the function is that if we draw a graph of the function and for certain interval, this graph will not be breaked. If this graph break inside the interval, then we can say that the function is not continuous in this interval. And if the graph breaks in the interval, we can say that function is discontinuous in the interval. As with function of a single variable, continuity is defined in terms of limits. So for a single variable, we say that a function is continuous at a certain point when its limit at that point exists and function is defined at that point. It means function should have some values at that point. And the limit of a function at that point and the value of function at that point must be equal. Then we say that function is continuous at that point. So this point is one of the interval points, and in the interval there should be many points. Similarly, for more than one variable, a function f of xy is continuous at the point x naught y naught. So now this point is actually two-dimensional in x-axis and y-axis. So that's why the fixed point is x naught y naught. And if we say about the one variable, that function of one variable, it means we are working along straight lines. And if there is a function of two variable, then it is not necessary to work along a straight line, but maybe we are working along the curves or steeper curves or maybe the straight curves. A function f of xy is continuous at the point x naught y naught if f is defined at x naught y naught. So first condition that a given function must be defined at that point. It means the function should have some values. So it should be defined mean the expression of function should not be indeterminate form. The second condition is that limit of a function should exist. It means the general points of the functions can approach to a fixed point for a certain limit. For example, if limit xy approaches to x naught y naught, it means x naught y naught is a fixed point and xy are general points. So all the general points in the domain, okay, should approach to a fixed point. If it approaches to the fixed point, then we say that the limit exists. Number three, value of the limit at that point. So this is actually the value of the limit f of xy and limit xy approaches to x naught y naught. So value of the limit should be equal to value of the function at that point. So the definition is similar as compared to the definition of function of single point. A function is continuous if it is continuous at every point of its domain. So we can say, for example, domain is an interval and interval contains 3 points. We can say that the given function is continuous at that interval if it is continuous on 3 points of the interval. As with the definition of limit, the definition of continuity applies at boundary points as well as interior points of the domain of F. So here the author says that like a definition of the limit, the definition of continuity applies at boundary points as well as interior points of the domain of F. So we can have a look of the concept similar to the yesterday when we say that we can consider all the points within the circle and the radius of the circle is epsilon in the range, and radius of the circle is delta in the domain. The only requirement is that the point xy remains in the domain at all time. So the difference to know whether this point belongs to domain is that so points like xy will definitely belong to the domain, and points like f of xy will belong to range. As you may have guessed, one of the consequences of theorem 1 is that algebraic combinations of continuous functions are continuous at every point at which all the functions involved are defined. Okay. Here the author say that property of the limits are similar as the property of the continuity. continuity. Well, because in the last lecture we have seen that sum of two functions, if we apply the limit, is results in the sum of their values, like this one, you say sum rule. So limit f of xy plus g of xy, xy approaches to x naught y naught, is equal to L plus m. So L is the value of the function, okay, f of xy, and m is the value of the function g of xy. It means so limits can be added. Similarly, if two functions are continuous separately, so their sum is also continuous. This means that sums, differences, products, constant multiples, quotients, and powers of continuous functions are continuous where defined. In particular, polynomial and rational functions of two variables are continuous at every point at which they are defined. So this result is very interesting because if one says to you that please give an example of continuous function, so you can give example of any polynomial, polynomials and rational function. So all polynomials and rational function of two variables are always continuous at every point at which they are defined. Okay. Example is there, a function with a simple point of discontinuity, single point of discontinuity, sorry, show that the function f of xy is equal to 0 if xy is equal to 0, 0. So actually in this form, we explain the behavior of the function. So function is of two variable f of xy. Function has value 0 if xy is equal to 0, 0. It means x approaches to 0 and y approaches to 0. And if x is not approaches to 0 and y is not approaches to 0, then the function will have value like this one, 2xy over x square y square. Okay. So we have a function which has a value equal to 0 if xy equal to 0, 0. And if xy is not equal to 0, 0, then the function will be of the form this one. Is continuous at every point except the origin. So we have to prove that function is continuous at every point except the point 0, 0. Okay. So he says that in figure 14.11, the graph of A is the graph of function. So where is the graph? I'm not seeing the graph. Okay, this one. A. Graph of the function is like that one. Okay. The function f is continuous at any point x, y not equal to 0, 0 because its value are then given by a rational function of x, y. At 0, 0, the value of f is defined, but f we claim has no limit at x, y approaches to 0, 0. The reason is that different paths of approaches to the origin can lead to different results, as we now see. Okay. For every value of m, the function f has a constant value on the punctured line y is equal to mx, x is not equal to 0, because f of xy at y is equal to mx is equal to 2xy over x square plus y square, and y is equal to mx, 2x into mx. So we are just replacing y with mx. So if we replace y with mx, because y is equal to mx is a straight line but with a slope. So he has a doubt that if x along the x-axis, we can say that 0, 0 is lies on the x-axis. But if not along the x-axis, we can take a line with slope y is equal to mx. So m is actually the slope of the line. And we can show that whether it is continuous or not. So replace y with mx, we will have this form 2mx square over x square plus m square x square, then it will be of the form this one. Therefore, f has this number as its limit as xy approaches to 0, 0 along the line y is equal to mx. And limit, we can write xy approaches to 0, 0, f of xy along y is equal to mx, 2m over 1 plus m square, same. This limit changes with m. There is therefore no single number we may call the limit of f as xy approaches the origin. The limit fails to exist and the function is not continuous. Okay, this we will explain at the end again. Example 4 illustrates an important point about limits of functions of two variables or even more variables for the matter. For a limit to exist at a point, the limit must be the same along every approach path. This result is analogous to the single variable case where both the left and right side limits had to have the same value. Therefore, for function of two or more variables, if we ever find paths with different limits, we know the function has no limit at the point they approach. Okay, so what is the reason behind is that in this line, in particular, polynomials and rational functions of two variables are continuous. So he has actually used this statement, the function f is continuous at any point because its value are then given by a rational function of x and y. So what we can do, if we just divide this 2xy over x square and x square over x square and y square over x square, you will get a function in the form of rational. So that is why this function is continuous, it exists. But if we want to check along the line which is not which is straight but not horizontal to the x-axis and not vertical along with the y-axis, then we take a line like y is equal to mx. So we get the result 2m over 1 plus m square, but it is not a fixed because it depends on m. It depends on slope. So if we, for example, if m is a angle of 30 degree, okay, it will give a different value. And if m is an angle of 40 degree, it will give a different value. And if m is an angle of 45 degree, it will give a different value. So it will change along the values of m. So, so that is why we say that the limit does not exist, but exists along only vertical line and along horizontal line, but not in between these two lines. So that is the matter behind. Two paths test for non-existence of a limit. If a function f of xy has different limits along two different paths as xy approaches x naught y naught, then limit xy approaches to x naught y naught, f of xy does not exist. So this test is actually called two-path test for non-existence of a limit. If a function f of xy has different limits along two different paths, as xy approaches x naught y naught, then limit xy approaches to x naught y f of x y does not exist. For example, if we have a fixed point at the origin 0, 0, then we can approach the origin from right side and also from left side. So the test says that even you approach the uh, point from right side, function must have the same value as you approach from the left side. So that is the two-path test. Here is the example of this test. Applying the two-path test, show that the function f of xy is equal to 2x square y over x square x4 plus y square has no limit as xy approaches 0, 0. So it is maybe uh, if we have here y square, 2x square, y square, and here if we have y4, so then limit exists because we can transform it into rational form. But now there is a problem is that because x square and y, so the total power is 3. So if the total power is 4, then we can divide it by x square or x4. So solution is that the limit cannot be found by direct substitution, which gives the form 0 by 0. Because if you apply x equal to 0, y0, you will have 0 by 0 form. This form is called indeterminate form. We examine the value of f along curves that end at 0, 0. Along the curve y is equal to kx square x is not equal to 0. The function has the constant value. So f of xy 2x square y square. So what's the this line is also like a line with angle with horizontal line. A straight line making angle with the horizontal line. So like y is equal to mx. So it's a similar line, maybe with different angles. So we put y is equal to kx square. This actually a little bit tricks like, because you know if y if you have a y power 2, so then it can be divided by y square. So he has used the same tricks that he substituted y is equal to kx square. So if you substitute y is equal to kx square, here you will have x4. Here x4 and total power is also x4. So then it is easy to extract x power 4 because your first focus is to eliminate the variable. So the variable is x. So here you have actually eliminated the variable. So whatever substitution you made, you need to eliminate variable x. So this term is actually free of x. Okay. But again, because k is the angle, ठीक है, angle of the line y is equal to kx square, so that is why, so k change with different values, so that is why we cannot say that function will always have the same value. This limit varies with the path of approach. If xy approaches 0, 0 along the parabola y is equal to x square, for instance, k equal to 1, limit is 1. F of x, if xy approaches 0, 0 along the x-axis, k equal to 0, and the limit is 0. By the two-part test, f has no limit as xy approaches because this function has a different values for different values of k. So that's why we say that the function is has no limit, and ultimately if limit does not exist, we can say the function is discontinuous at these points because the function to be continuous, limit must be exist. Okay, you might well ask, what do you mean f has no limit as xy approaches the origin? It has lots of limits, but that is that is the point. There is no single path independent limit, and therefore, by the definition, limit xy approaches to 0, 0, f of xy does not exist. Compositions of continuous function are also continuous. So this line has to be remembered that if two functions are continuous separately, then the combination and composition of these two functions will also be continuous. The proof omitted here is similar to that for function of a single variable. Continuity of continuity of composition or composites. If f is continuous at x naught y naught and g is a single variable function continuous at f of x naught y naught, then the composite function h is equal to g composition of f defined by h of xy is equal to g f of xy is continuous at x naught y naught. What do you mean by composite? Okay, here the composition mean that first you have the function f of xy and then you have operated another function over first function. So that will make a composition. For example, the composite function ex minus y cosine of xy over x square 1 natural log of 1 plus x square y square are continuous at every point xy. This you can remember to give short example. For example, if you will be asked a little question that please give an example of a continuous function, you can quote this example, natural log of 1 plus x square y square or e power x minus y. So this is actually the functions of two variables and also composite function. As with functions of a single variable, the general rule is that composites of continuous functions are continuous. The only requirement is that each function be continuous where it is applied. Okay. Functions of more than two variables. The definitions of limit and continuity for functions of two variables and the conclusions about limits and continuity for sums, products, quotients, powers, and composites all extend to functions of there are more variables. Functions like natural log of x plus y plus z and y sine z over x minus 1 are continuous throughout their domain and limits like limit p approaches to 1 0 minus 1 e power x plus z z square plus cos xy square root is equal to e power 1 minus 1 minus 1 square plus cos 0 is equal to 1 by 2 where p denotes the point xyz may be found by direct substitution. So actually what is inside this paragraph is that if we have a more than two variables, then we can define limit and continuity in the same manner. Extreme value of continuous function unclosed bounded set. We have seen that a function of a single variable that is continuous throughout a closed bounded interval takes on an absolute maximum value and an absolute minimum value at least once in AB. The same is true for a function z is equal to f of xy that is continuous on a closed bounded set or in the plane like a line segment, a disk or a filled in triangle. The function takes on an absolute maximum value at some point in R and an absolute minimum value at some point in R. So this is not very important. You can skip this section, even this one. The next are the questions. So the questions are not so difficult. We can just discuss these questions one by one.